All right, guys. Thank you for joining, and you're welcome. And in a moment, I'll be, bringing Mr. Tony on board, and he's ready to actually, answer some of our questions as far as implementation science and monitoring and evaluation is concerned. So again, I want to say welcome, and just a sec. I'm going to actually bring Mr. Tony in. All right. Hello, Mr. Tony. Are you there? Tony. Hello. 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 I think perhaps I'm having some little issues with his network or something. Hello. All right. Hello. So just hang on a second. I think he's perhaps maybe having some little issues actually joining in. All right, we have Mr. Tony back online, and is joining the stream in less than 3 seconds. We should actually have him on board. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I guess we're having just some form of network issues from his end right now. Hello, Mr. Tony. Hello. Wow, this is actually okay. So while he's trying to join us, um, for those actually just online and listening, so we're actually going to be deeping into monitoring and evaluation generally, okay, and we're trying to look at the monitoring evaluation implementation science as a whole, and then we see for persons who are just trying to get onto the career path in terms of monitoring and evaluation. We will discuss at length in terms of what you should be looking forward to and what not to actually have in mind. At the same time, we'd also be asking some critical questions as per what is important as per the job as an M&E expert or professional, generally from time to time. Okay, and then we'll have a session towards the tail end where we actually will be able to take, at least maybe 3 questions. Outside the questions, if maybe what we discuss or the questions Tony actually tries to answer does not actually meet your particular, knowledge thirst as far as the topic is concerned. So we would actually move on, right? And then we actually take questions from the audience, from the comment section on Facebook. You could just, put in some of your interesting questions. You can start doing that right now in case you have some very, very cogent questions you want, answered as far as monitoring and evaluation is concerned, generally. And we will be more than glad to actually, share what we know, and we'll be able to move on from there. So I think he's online now. Okay, finally, thank God. Hey, Mr. Tony,
Hi
how's it
guys,
going?
doing well,
I
bro.
know, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
know.
sorry for that. Sorry for that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's
Yeah.
understandable. I guess
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why 5G is very, very important at this point.
Yeah, I can understand that too.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right. Okay, guys. We are starting off. So in case there are persons who actually are not online yet, or persons that need to be here that are friends that that would benefit from this discussion, please feel free to actually share the link with them and get them on board. Okay. So today we have Mr. Tony Upocha. He's a monitoring and evaluation specialist, a trainer, that a capacity builder as far as monitoring and evaluation implementation science generally is concerned. So he has over 10 years of experience, in this field, implementing different systems. I think we met as far back as 2013, actually on the job, doing the same thing as far back as then, in terms of teaching people, building people's capacity as far as monitoring, evaluation, planning, management for results, right? EPM, I know all those things during those period. Yeah, so he's actually, going to be taking some interesting questions from us today, and then we'll be able to actually deal with it. Okay, before I just go on, I'll just allow my guest to actually, say one or two words maybe about himself, and then we can actually, get the ball rolling because I know we are already late, on our schedule. Okay, Mr. Tony, hello. Hello. Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are running late, like
Mr. Tony, if you can hear me, I think the network is
you
actually.
mentioned. Yeah,
I okay now we could actually hear you. We couldn't hear you for a while there. We lost you, I think, for some.
really, really.
Yeah, really.
Okay, I hope the network will not make us not to enjoy this hangout.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was saying
really
let's
to,
make
to
it a
right now.
hangout. Let's
Yeah.
have fun doing it. If you have your glass of wine or beer or water, let's just do this. Yeah,
Okay
thanks.
now. All right then. All right. All right. Okay. So just not to waste time again, just for us to move on and get deep into the to the questions that actually matter. Okay. So I know everybody or most persons, perhaps even on online online right now, have heard the term monitoring and evaluation, right? So it's more or less like a very popular phrase, especially within the development sector, especially within sectors where they're actually trying to do some form of change monitoring or change tracking or the theory of change as is broadly called, right? So in terms of monitoring and evaluation, is there really a difference? Okay, do they mean the same thing? I don't know if you could actually perhaps expatiate on that for people to actually have a better understanding in terms of when we say monitoring and evaluation, are they the same? Do they mean the same thing, or they are separate things, or they are things intertwined? I don't know. Okay.
Okay, I get you. Okay, you're asking if the word monitoring and the word evaluation means the same since they all come
Yeah,
together often.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So that's a nice first question, good one. And I want to apologize to our audience as well. I'm at home, so whatever sounds or noise you hear from kids, just pardon us. Just know that it's a hangout. Okay. So I think the little boy has just walked out from the room. Okay, so monitoring and evaluation always come together, but they are not the
Mm.
same. They have same purpose. The only difference, and I think that can be the first takeaway of the evening, is that the only difference between two of them is about timing. When does one happen, and when does the other happen? Although we are trying to blur the lines at the professional level now, but the difference is in the timing. So while monitoring is something that happens routinely, something you do, okay, in the course of doing something you do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, okay, evaluation happens periodically. So that's where I'll stop for now.
Okay, 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 okay. Thank you. So if you heard that, if you didn't catch that, he was saying it's in the timing, right, and all that. Okay. So I think you've actually answered the next question I was actually going to ask, anyways. But I think you might maybe just buttress on it a bit in terms of when we talk about management, right? There's always that argument, like, oh, is just like, those that old question of which comes first, chicken or egg, and then the philosophy class, and then we keep on going back and forth, chicken egg. All right. So in terms of monitoring and evaluation, which actually comes first, and why? And
Hmm,
what are your thoughts on that?
nice. And you know that the chicken and egg story, okay, and the chicken and egg debate, okay, comes into play in monitoring and evaluation when people who do not understand the two concepts are talking. It is really not
Mm,
a chicken and egg situation here.
mm,
Okay,
mm,
it is clear.
mm,
And when I facilitate trainings, I normally would ask this question to my participants, my students. Okay,
mm,
and but this time around, I'm being asked the question. So let me go this way. if I take a poll now, everybody, 95% will say that monitoring comes first. Even in the combination, it does come first, right? But in the real sense, evaluation actually comes first. And even some of the
Mm,
things you might see online might confuse you because you see them talk about differences between monitoring and evaluation. They tell you one is periodic and one is routine. They tell you that one is done at the middle or end of a project, that is evaluation, right? While monitoring starts from the beginning
mhm,
and runs all the way to completion. So evaluation comes first.
mm. Hello?
That's the simple answer to the question.
Wow. Hello? Do I still have you? Hello? Hello? Looks like I lost you for a while there. Hello? Wow. This network is really, really something, right? I think. Hello? Hello? Boy. Hello? Okay, I think we just lost him again right there in terms of trying to tell us which actually comes first in terms of monitoring and evaluation. And then we have it there. It's saying evaluation actually, is the first thing that actually comes up in terms of doing some form of baseline evaluation even before you actually start the projects or before you start getting things rolling. Okay, so I'm just going to try to see how to actually get it back online, and then for us to actually move on from there. Okay.
it's this type of thing is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
crazy.
I get it.
It's really crazy.
Network.
I'm so sorry, and I'm apologizing on behalf of Nigeria. Sincerely, it's sad.
On behalf of Nigeria.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't get it right.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll
Yeah,
definitely get there.
I hope
Sorry,
so.
guys. If you're listening, I'm very, very sorry. I know this is perhaps maybe not okay at all in terms of the fact that the network keeps going off and on. So apologies for persons who are not perhaps aware of what it's like in terms of getting data to work in developing countries. This is it. I'm very, very sorry about that. So we'll move on, okay, so that we actually save time. I think we're already halfway into the time allotted for this. Okay, all right. So I'll move on to the next question. So when we say M&E system, right, we talk about transforming theory into impact. Oftentimes you've heard those words in terms of from inputs to impact, right? And I think for some persons it's as good as theory, right? As the word connotes transforming theory into impact and all that. What does that really mean, right? In terms of when we say M&E is about transforming theory into impact, I would like you to expatiate further for persons to actually have a better understanding of
Okay,
that actually. Hello, hello, wow,
mostly
hello.
people talk about data science. So, and then
Okay,
you're hearing theory now, and we're not talking about algebraic expressions, or the almighty formula. Eh,
okay. I think we just lost him right there. Hello, Mr. Tony. Hello, Mr. Tony. Wow. Hello, Mr. Tony. Hello. Hello, Mr. Tony. Wow. All right, guys. I'm really, really sorry about this. Um, he's getting back. Yeah, you're back again for the opting time to impact. Yeah. I can hear you clearly. Absolutely. I'm hearing you. Mhm, 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 mhm. 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 Mm, 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 mm. Thank you for that so much. I really, enjoyed listening to that in terms of, moving from theory to practice, and then actually creating necessary impacts. And I think that's what the whole theory of change is all about. Okay, but just for curious minds actually listening, right? You mentioned at the beginning when you're talking about the processes and all that. You talked about baseline, right? I think that's a concept that most persons actually would like to hear more about. So when you talk about baseline evaluation, what are you really, talking about? Mm, mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. Mhm, mhm. Sorry. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, guys, sorry again for the whole network disruption. I think things are actually better now, and I think we've been able to keep it alive for some minutes. So just chill and hang out with us, and try to follow the discussion as actually it unravels. So, if you're just joining in, so we have Mr. Anthony Nkwocha, right, an M&E capacity builder, right, actually discussing with us and taking us through what we need to know as far as M&E is concerned, monitoring and evaluation in full, right, or as some persons will actually call it implementation science, right, and different shades of calling the same term or the same practice. Okay. Okay, so as before you joined in, if you're just joining in, for those persons just coming on board, we mentioned earlier that we'll be taking some questions at the end. Okay, so if you have questions that you want to ask, you could just drop it on the comment section, and then towards the end of the session, we'll actually get to those questions. I'll pick at least three questions, and then try to answer. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. Okay, Mr. Pil, I hope I still have you this time around. I do. Thank God for that. All right. So, to a very, very, important question, right? I've heard persons, come up to me and say, "Hey, Oba, how do I set up an M&E system?" Right? Or how do I come up with a monitoring and evaluation plan? The classic question. I want to develop an M&E plan. How do I actually go about it? So you have so many persons like that, from them, just like, can you show me how to do this? Some persons asking questions as far as the result framework is concerned, logical framework is concerned, and all sort of M&E frameworks, right? So I'm just asking for persons listening, right, and for persons who are trying to, get to do things. What must someone know? That is, anybody who wants to actually set up an M&E system, what should they know? What should they have in place? What should be their plan? What should they actually be looking at to actually set up and run an efficient M&E system? Mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah. Indicators. Mm, 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 mhm, Mhm. 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 Yeah, yeah, that is very, very clear. That is very, very, yeah, that's very clear. I'm with you. Mhm. 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 Mm, 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 mm. Okay, all right, guys. I don't know. I'm getting feedback from people saying they can't hear no sound at all and all that. I don't know. Is it that you can't hear Tony or you can't hear me? Please just let me know in the comment section. If you can't actually hear me, let me know. Or if it's that you cannot hear the two of us, or you cannot just hear just Tony, please just
All right, guys. I
let me
don't
know.
know.
Let me know.
I'm getting feedback from people saying,
So let me just know if it's that you can't hear me or it's that you can't actually hear Tony. I would really like some comments in the comment section just to know what is actually happening. All right. I would move on to the next question. Okay. Mr. Tony, are you still with me? Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. So let me just quickly do some due diligence on that in terms of just trying to find out if people can actually hear that. Okay, so I'm trying to see if I can actually get some comments, or maybe people cannot hear. Let me just put that up on the screen, just in case persons can't hear, or persons can hear, or persons cannot hear. Okay. You're still on. You're still on. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna put that up right now. Um, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, they say they can hear me, but they cannot hear you. So I don't know what's going on now. This is really weird. So they're saying, "Oh, Oba, we can hear you, but we can't hear Tony." I don't know if it's a network issue again. I don't know if there's anybody. Is it all across board? And I can hear you clearly. So that's like the I'm wondering why that is though. So I don't know if anybody can hear both of us, or is it that we cannot just hear or everybody's across, but you can't all hear Tony, so that we know exactly what the issue is. Can anybody hear Tony? Tony, I don't know if you can say some words just for people to okay, I can see someone saying they can't hear Tony. Another person saying they can't hear you, but they can hear me. Wow, this is serious. Um, do you want to actually just take maybe? Sorry, guys. Maybe we'll take just few minutes, like 2 minutes again, just to disconnect and reconnect again one more time. I don't know why that is in terms of why we can't hear you. So that means all what you've been saying since people are not actually here, and that's serious. Um, I don't know. Maybe you take just a moment. Okay, I think Tony will actually try to join us back in a moment. But in the meantime, let me just also find out if there's anyone, if anyone has actually heard Tony. Since you guys can hear me, I think since people are saying they can hear me, has anyone heard Tony at any point in time? Has anyone heard Tony at any point in time? Please let me just know in the comment section. I really appreciate that. Just to have that feedback in terms of knowing if anyone. Okay, someone said they can't hear Tony for a while now. That means they were hearing him at some point in time. So it's connection issues, network issues then. Okay, Tony is back now. Please confirm if you can hear Tony this time around. Tony, just say something. Let's see if they can actually hear me now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Just say some, just
Has anyone
I.
indicated that they can hear me?
Yeah, someone said they could hear you earlier, but they stopped hearing you for a while. That's the feedback I got. Say I can't hear Tony for a while now. So that means they heard you at some point in time. So
Okay.
that's
So
actually
it would be nice. It
um
would be nice for us to know if they can hear me now, and it would be nice
yeah,
to
we can hear
know.
you now.
It would be nice to know at what point that people heard me last, so we know where
Yeah,
to
yeah.
continue from. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Please, can you hear him now? Let me know if you can hear him now. Hello. Okay, they said right on, so I think they can actually
Wow.
hear. So someone just said
Okay.
right on. So, but let me
Okay.
just give that a moment and find out if that is across board. All right, guys, that across board. Can everybody actually hear now? Are we good to go? Tony, just say something so that we can actually,
Are we
um,
good to go? Are we good to continue? Can we continue?
okay, they can hear you now. Okay, they can hear you
Okay,
now. Thank God.
man.
Thank God.
Man, I
All
don't
right.
understand what's the problem, man. I
Man,
don't.
your network,
And I
man.
apologize for that. Yeah, I do
Sorry, guys.
apologize for
We
that,
really apologize
sincerely.
for that. We do apologize for that. I think next session we actually because before now we actually tested all this right before the stop. We're even online for close to 30 minutes or so, and there was no
Exactly. So I'm wondering why it's been this way.
so I'm surprised that this is happening now. So, but it's okay. I think we just move on. So I don't know if anybody can
So
tell
at
us
what
where
point did
exactly.
they hear last so we can know how to continue, and we pray this doesn't happen so we can
Yeah,
flow? We
yeah.
would have been through.
Yeah, would have been true. So, guys, I don't know. At what point did you hear Tony last? Can anybody just who has been online from the beginning tell us where they actually heard Tony last? So we've asked some couple of questions. He has actually, responded some couple of questions. He talked about the differences between monitoring and evaluation. Trying to differentiate the terms and trying to tell us how they actually relate. Okay, and then we moved on to actually talking about which comes first between monitoring and evaluation in terms of project management, and he mentioned in evaluation, right? And then we went on to actually talk about transforming theory to impact, that is M&E system as a whole. So I don't know if anybody actually got to that point. And then we went on to talk about how to set up an M&E system. And then we went whole deep diving into the whole, starting on with baseline and then creating indicators along the way, and then moving forward like that. So I don't know where we actually lost you, but I would appreciate if anybody can actually just in the comment section tell us at what point we actually lost you guys, or where you guys stopped hearing Tony totally. Thank you. Okay, Ayobami said when you were talking about monitoring and evaluation, Ayobami,
That
which
that's
part?
that's
Because we are talking
that's
about
like day
M&E
one.
generally. Yeah, so you're talking about the first one. We're
That's
talking
like
about
day one.
monitoring and evaluation. Wow, wow. Okay, if that's the case, I think we just quickly do some form of recap. So I think
Wow.
we can start from maybe the third question, right? Maybe we could actually just quickly recap in terms of transforming theory to impact. Okay, I know we are actually kind of out of time,
So
but
so I can
I want,
I can I can run through. I can run through.
yeah, yeah. Please do up to the point where
Yes.
we stopped.
So I can run through this stuff. Okay.
Mm,
Monitoring and evaluation. Monitor. If you can't hear me, just indicate as much as, yeah. So monitoring and evaluation always come together as a compound word. People always say
mm,
monitoring and evaluation, but the difference is there. Okay, and the difference also is mostly in the timing. When does one happen and when does the other happen? At some point they happen concurrently, which is the new thinking in the field now, talking about evaluative monitoring. But monitoring is something that deals with routine, while evaluation deals with periods. Okay, so, and I'm saying that the other question that asked about which comes first, we are saying that evaluation actually comes first, because the period before a project starts, you run an evaluation, a kind of evaluation called a baseline or feasibility study, whatever you
mm,
need to call it, because this data you get from running that kind of evaluation helps you to really make decisions on what you need to do to achieve your set goal, your impact, or your outcome. So that's basically those two questions. What's M&E? If M&E is the same, and if which comes first. So, and we now talked about setting up
transforming
systems of
theory to impact.
M&E,
Mm,
transforming theory to impact, which also means setting up the system that helps us do this transformation, okay, of theory. So we're saying, what is the theory there? The theory there is that whatever we have found out from our baseline helps us to form what it is we need to do. So those theories of, if we do this and this and this, then we will achieve this. Okay, that is purely what the theory in M&E is all about. So if we do 1, 2, 3, then we're going to achieve this. And then we set out to continuously do those 1, 2, 3, holding um certain situations constant, which we call assumptions, because we are not dealing with algebraic expression like I mentioned earlier. We are dealing with real life situation. We are dealing with people and behaviors. We are dealing with climate change and the effect of climate. So when we hold all those things constant, we are saying that our ABC, if we do it to the latter, we do it to the books, that we are going to achieve that aim we set out to do. And this is what setting up the system entails, because it means us bringing and considering certain components that will help us in knowing where we are at every point in time. And I
mm,
mentioned indicators and how they serve as a measure of our progress. Okay, and the indicators come in different ways, and that in real life situation we can actually look at indicator from the perspective of what we know. We know of litmus paper from our secondary schools. We use it to test acidity and alkalinity of a chemical. And the one that is very common is traffic lights that has the green, the amber, and the red. Okay, those are indicators. They indicate if something needs to move, if we need to move, or if we need to stop. Okay, so that is what an indicator helps us to do. So when we use it even in monitoring, it is informing us on how best to approach what we are doing. If we need to do course correction, if we use it in evaluations, it's helping us to ensure that we take care of the quality of what we are
mm.
doing. So basically that's where we are.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for the
I hope
recap, Mr.
everyone
Tony.
had me right.
Yeah, yeah. I believe everyone is actually following now. and I think we are actually at a very good place now. Okay, so I would just quickly move on to the next question. I can see some questions already coming in from the comment section. Right, we'll get to them just towards the end of the discussion. Okay, all right. So if you have questions, like I mentioned earlier, just keep putting them down. We are actually taking note of them, and then we'll actually get to answer them towards
Okay,
the
and for
end
the
of this
first time, I'm
this.
seeing questions too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I have just I have just about three questions to go before we get to those questions. Okay, so when we talk about monitoring and evaluation, right? We actually I've seen persons actually talking about organizational learning, right? You see people talking about research. Okay, so I just want you to actually clarify what's the relationship, right? Are they linked as research and learning actually linked to monitoring and evaluation system? Hello, I don't know if you got that.
Okay, so let me take research and monitoring and evaluation. They are part of the
Mhm.
data science. Okay,
Okay,
I did. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me, Oba?
I can hear you clearly. I can hear you clearly. You can hear you.
Okay, stop it. Sorry for that. So okay, so research and monitoring and evaluation are part of the data science. Okay, and they serve the same purpose. And what is really the intention of data science generally? It is for
Mhm.
learning. And what do we call learning? Learning is the ability for us to, from implementing past projects, from running past programs, we realize that this works and this doesn't work. Okay, and we learn so that when next we are doing it, we avoid the pitfalls that we would have encountered previously and ensure that we build on quality as we go along the way. So basically, that's what learning is all about. So we do research to learn, we
Mhm.
do monitoring and evaluation to learn, and all
Mhm.
these help us in decision making towards ensuring quality. Yeah,
Mhm. Okay, okay, okay. Not that. So we do both to actually, to actually learn. That's coming from Mr. Anthony. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I know you actually mentioned this briefly
I think
initially,
this time
right?
around there's now a lag, so no problem. So let's go on.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I know you actually mentioned, this earlier. You mentioned this actually earlier. You said some things concerning this. Okay. People get scared when we talk about monitoring and evaluation because some people actually I've seen persons actually feeling like, oh, it's just numbers and statistics. And some persons actually just tune off when it comes to numbers and statistics, like I don't want to be calculating stuff. This is difficult. I don't want to do anything number. I just want to maybe read, persons actually have that that notion. So what's your thought about that? At least for persons who are trying to get into the field, right, or persons who are actually still spying from outside to say they want to get into this, and statistics and number, I don't think I can actually handle that. What do you have to say to that? Are there leeways? Are there easier routes, or perhaps something you can actually give us some words of advice and all that?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I was one of the people growing up who also feared mathematics and numbers and all of that. But in MIE, it's actually completely different. So you understanding and knowing what it is you are doing and what you set out to do makes it even more easier. Okay, it makes it easier for you to actually navigate the concept of M&E. So I
Mhm.
would say this: the most difficult part of M&E is actually the non-number part. So where you see an M&E system that is not measuring numbers, Okay, that is where you actually have problems. Where you see number of, it's something you can count, it's counting. So M&E's kind of this thing is more of counting and percentages, and that's the easiest form of numbers and mathematics. So that's basically what I have to say for that. So stop being afraid.
Okay. So you heard it from Mr. Tony saying, don't be afraid. The difficult part of monitoring
Oba, can you
evaluation
hear
is
me?
actually the non-numeric or the non-statistical part of it. So he's saying, oh, there are other parts to this thing beyond numbers and statistics part of it is actually even the simpler part, and you
Hello,
should not,
Oba.
be scared of that. I can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. Tony? I can hear you loud and clear. I hope it is not about time for you to go offline again. Please don't go offline on me again. Can you hear me? I can hear you clearly. All right. Can you hear me, Mr. Tony? I hope I still have you online. Hello.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
There's just
Okay.
a
Okay.
lag. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I want to find out. You just said, oh, statistics and numbers have actually perhaps the easier part of this, right? So realistically,
Yeah, go on, Oba. I can hear you clearly.
you've worked in this field
Yeah,
for
I'm
like 10
online.
years. Yeah, for 10 years now, right? Can you tell us, right, the audience, to you, what would you consider the most difficult, aspect of monitoring and evaluation for people to actually, pay attention to, even persons practicing, M&E currently? What would you actually say, is the most difficult part of monitoring and evaluation?
Hmm. Okay, I'll call it. Okay, I'll say it's measuring quality in M&E, not quantity now, but quality. Okay, so measuring qualitative data, that is where the difficulty lies. So
I see.
let me do this. If I were to be seeing you guys face to face, I'll ask you this question, and it would be for you to tell me your net worth. Okay, what are you worth in life? You see that it will be difficult for a lot of people to answer this. And if this is an integral part of a project I'm running, or a data need I have, it will be difficult to actually get it from people, because people will be answering from different angles. Some people will be saying, but I don't have a car. But you might have landed properties in your village, which is worth something. Some person will be like, but I don't have this, but they have like certain wristwatches that cost over $10,000. So you will see that there's difficulty in me measuring to know people's net worth from their answers. So what do? I develop what we call proxy indicators. Proxy indicators are measures that look at something outside that stuff, but that are related to it. So in the past, people would measure wealth by people who had zinced houses, people who had bicycles and all of that. And in this current time now, I know what to do as an M&E person to measure someone's net worth. I know certain questions that will be less intrusive, that will be less personal, that I could ask you, and you can willingly share with me. Okay, and from there I can calculate what I see as the net worth of the participants who are attending this hangout. So you see, now that's where the difficulty lies, not in the numbers, not in the number of mosquito nets, long lasting um treated nets that we are distributed. You can actually count that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So the non-quantitative part, the qualitative part, actually is the difficult part from Mr. Anthony. So that's what he's actually saying to us. Okay, before I actually open the floor, because we're actually behind schedule, right, and then start taking some questions from the comment section. Okay, I want you to just do this for the audience, right, so that for persons, especially persons who are actually just trying to get into this, right, can you just pick maybe thematic area or one program, okay, and then just maybe give us maybe a cascade of what it feels like to say you want to actually have a monitoring and evaluation system for that. Hello.
I didn't hear that, Oba.
Okay, I said, is it possible for you to actually just perhaps pick, let's say, for instance, salutation, for instance, right? Just pick a
Can you
program
repeat
and
that
then,
question, Oba?
yeah, yeah. I'm saying, can you just, give the audience, like, if you to pick a particular program, just pick a program of your choice and tell us what to expect, okay? In terms of monitoring and evaluation, in terms of actually setting up a system, like working from the baseline, like you mentioned at the beginning, right, down to impact. What is the journey
Hello,
like?
Oba. Can
Okay,
you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Oba?
I can hear you clearly. Can you
Can
hear
you
me?
hear me?
I'm hearing you clearly. Wow. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Oba, can you repeat the question?
So my question is, can you pick a program for us within maybe like 3 4 minutes in terms of just pick a program and just tell us what the milestones are, what the journey is like, okay, from baseline to impact, okay? I'm very sure some persons will
Okay,
actually will have an idea.
okay. Let's pick a simple one because of this whole network issue. Okay, let's
Yeah.
pick you want to supply computers to a secondary school. Okay, that is it, because you want a situation whereby secondary school graduates come out computer literate, so their computer science lab has no computers and you want to supply computers to them so that while coming out they are equipped with the necessary computer literacy to actually face the world. That is what you want to achieve. Improved computer literacy. Now, you do your baseline. Your baseline is to find out if there is even a single computer in their lab, if there is even desk to put the computers, or even if there is a lab, not just a lab with a name, but a lab as a physical structure. So that is what you want to do. So you do your baseline to understand that. That is one aspect of your baseline. You will also want to know what kind of computers are you buying. Okay, and then while you're buying them, you are also checking quality to ensure that it is a computer that has, or computers that have the capacity to actually do this work over a period of time, not something you buy today and tomorrow, just because of the way somebody typed, then the keyboard won't be functioning. With that, your aim is also defeated. So what happens? An MIE person will come to check the computers before they are bought. Okay, and then when they are supplied and they are being set up and there's monitoring, and the monitoring routine happens, someone goes here to see that even while they are being transported from the people who they were bought from to the school, there wasn't an issue. Hence, there's nothing stopping people from learning with those computers. You check the teachers too, their number and availability, and also their quality. Because if you don't know how many are available, or the number available won't be enough, then you can't still achieve your aim. And if they are enough and they don't have the quality to actually teach computer literacy, then that is also bad. So over time, you run evaluations, you come to the school and you see how far they have gone using the curriculum that you have vetted and seeing that this will take them to that journey of being computer literate. Okay,
Mhm.
so you go periodically to also check how far they are going, because you want to know that you succeed after or before they graduate from secondary school. So that is basically what it is. And then at the end, you run the total evaluation that you can use to make a learning statement that says proudly, if you ensure that you equip the lab with good computers, quality computers, you train teachers and they are of good quality, and students attend classes on computer from their GS3 or their SS1 to SS3, then you can comfortably say you have increased literacy in computer. Did that help?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it did. It did. It did. It did. It did. I
Okay.
think we can actually, perhaps get some comments from get comments from the comment section, and then to actually, ascertain if people are actually still following. Okay. All right. So I would actually, move to the comment section. There are a lot of interesting questions I'm actually seeing within the comment section at the moment. I think the first question that came in from Sonny. Sonny, how far are you doing? It's nice to actually have you, online. Okay, so I think I will pick the first question. So Sonny was actually asking, right, that is there a difference between the entity, right, um, responsible for conducting monitoring and evaluation or evaluation? Is there a difference between the entity responsible for conducting monitoring
No,
or
there
evaluation?
is there is none. It's just that most times evaluation can be divided into two. Okay, you have external and internal evaluation. Okay, when you're talking about entity doing it, okay, it doesn't mean that there are no other further divisions of evaluation, because you can actually have evaluation that is run by the beneficiaries of a particular project, okay, like a kind of self-evaluation. So you can also have
Mhm.
that kind of evaluation internally being done by the organization that is running the project. But then most times, especially when it is end term evaluation, we want an external person to come look at it. That's when you get independent evaluators who will come to look at your project from a clean, um, non subjective way, because you are proud of what you have achieved. So, but we need someone else to actually say you have achieved those things you set out to do. I think that answers the question. I hope so.
Okay, okay, okay. Although I think there was also maybe some kind of network issue, but I hope people actually, follow that in terms of the responses, as to the responses to that. Okay, I think I will take another question from Sonny, right? He also asked again to say, what's the difference between a result statement, okay, and an indicator? What's the difference? You spoke at length as far as indicators are concerned in terms of explaining what an indicator is. So it's actually the difference between a result statement and an indicator.
Yeah. So a result statement is statement of purpose, statement of aim, statement of the impact, statement of the outcome you want to achieve. Okay, in our cholera example or in our computer literacy example, so graduates of that particular secondary school being computer literate is like your result statement. And in our cholera one, it is reduced incidence of cholera. That is your result statement. But indicators are those measures that tell you that you have achieved that computer literacy, or you have reduced that incidence of cholera. So, and every other
Okay.
thing you do along the way, training of the teachers, okay, building the toilets, okay, teaching people how to use the chlorine, you have different sub indicators to actually measure if you are doing those ones right as well. Yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. Thank you for that response. I don't know if people are still following. I don't know if you guys actually heard his response, but I'm actually having, like a flicker right here. Like I could barely hear what some of the things you were saying. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if it's the laptop position now or the network or what is actually happening again this time around in terms of having that crack. It's as if there's a lag, in communication. Okay. All right. So I think Sonny happens to be the one
Yeah,
asking.
but I can hear you clearly, Oba.
You said,
I
hello,
can
do I
hear
still have
you
your
very
voice?
clearly.
But we can't hear
Yes,
you
Oba,
very
but I can
clearly.
hear you clearly, Oba.
Okay. I'm hearing you now. I think it's better. Okay, so I will take one last question again, still from Sonny, right? Um, so he's asking, what are the skills?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, what are the skills you look for in making an M&E hiring decision? Okay, if someone is actually showing up to say, I want the job. Okay, I've seen many persons, I want to get into M&E and all that. So what should they be, looking out for in terms of, okay, um, right? What will you be looking for if you're on a panel? You want to pick, okay? What will you be looking out for? And at the same time, what do you think someone should actually, have as a combination of skills to actually thrive as far as the domain is concerned?
I would say, I hope you can hear me. I just hope you can hear me. I would say
Yeah.
critical thinking. So the person needs to think critically. Okay. You don't look at things at face value. You actually look beyond that. You have to have that a process of thinking, the thought process that looks at things not at face value, but looks deeply to find the why. What is the why? Okay. What is the why?
Mhm.
Why are we doing this? If you can know how to answer questions on why you are doing whatever it is you are doing, I think you are a good fit for M&E. Apart from the other things you need to learn, okay, alongside, okay, understanding how to use your indicators, how to state your problems, how to do all of those things we already mentioned today. So, but very importantly, it's about someone having a critical mind to actually um break something that might seem like a whole into parts and ask why. So it's about knowing the structure and function of a thing, but more of the function. Why are we doing this? So I hope you heard me
Mm.
right.
Yeah, yeah, I got that. I got that. I got
Okay.
that. I got that.
But
I
I
got
hope
that.
they did.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I hope everybody. I guess they did. I can get. I'm getting some feedbacks from the audience. People saying, "Oh, we can hear what is actually being said." Okay, we could actually hear two of you guys. All right. I think we've come to the end of the questions. I don't know if anybody actually has any question left right there. If I've missed any, please call my attention to it. I'm trying to just scroll through and then to see if there are other pending questions to actually be answered. Okay, so if you are just joining in, I've been talking to Mr. Anthony Nkwacha, a monitoring and evaluation specialist and capacity builder. Okay, and he has been able to give some responses to some questions from the beginning of the session. I know we actually had some issues with our network connection at the beginning. I think it's got better, after some time. Okay, so I'll be putting out a summary of what was discussed after the event. Okay, just in case you have to look at some things, and the video also will be online for you to be able to also catch up with and watch again. Although I'm hoping you won't get entangled where you start seeing all the lags and what we had at the beginning of this session. Okay, Mr. Anthony, I want to say thank you so much for taking out the time, okay, and spending this time with us in terms of just highlighting some key points for M&E professionals. I don't know if there's anything you want to do before we actually call it okay. If
No,
there's anything you
thank
want
you, Oba, and thank you to everyone for the patience. Okay, it's really crazy. I don't know why. I don't know if I was singled out for this network glitch today, but whatever it is, I think we were able to do something, and I am really very open and willing to answer more of your questions that you couldn't ask today, or those that you might come across when you do your further research or watch the video again. So I'm glad to help you along that path to becoming an M&E specialist as well. Thank you.
okay. All right. So for those persons who might want to reach out to Mr. Anthony, is KC Tony Nkwocha, right, on Facebook. So you might just want to perhaps click on the follow button or the connect button, or on LinkedIn is Anthony Nkwocha. So you might want to actually just do that, and then you are able to connect with him, right, and then maybe pick up some discussions from there. So this is me saying thank you so much for taking out the time. Thank you for actually bearing with us with the whole network issue at the beginning. Okay, and I promise that the the next session will be a lot better. This being the maiden version, I'm very sure it can only definitely get better. So keep following. We have other lined up talks, ahead in terms of discussing different things as far as data science, data engineering is actually concerned. Okay, I actually saw the question of someone actually asking what you should do to be a data engineer. So you have some combination of skills you need to actually be looking at. Okay, and at the same time you might want to start up from just from the basic. Okay, so what I tell people when you want to actually get into not just data science, data engineering, since you're asking for of engineering in particular, right? You want to get into data engineering because I've seen people also try to mix those two things up sometimes. You say a data scientist is actually fairly different in role from a data engineer. Okay, a data engineer is actually focused towards the preparedness of data. Okay, trying to ensure that there's a data pipeline existing, trying to ensure that everything is actually working smoothly for the data scientist to actually get his data in a very good format, acceptable format, and a nice quality to actually move on from there. So the person asking question, you can just hit me up after this. We can talk further. I can actually perhaps point you further into the right direction into data engineering. Okay, in terms of the cloud management skills you might actually be cloud computing skills you might actually be looking into in terms of the good old body SQL you might also want to be trying to start looking into, right? In terms of setting up systems and then developing systems and ensuring that they actually have some form of validation or consistency checks and skip in terms of the way you're doing maybe service and some other things like that. All right, guys. So I want to say thank you so much for taking out the time. We would actually, we hope again to have something sometimes next week in terms of on the channel. Just keep on, checking up on the channel and see if other events are actually coming up. Okay, so we'll actually call it a wrap here. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Bye.
Really appreciate.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.